Welcome to Nutty Buddy Sports.
Okay, so let's talk about Bengals win if. So I have a little bit of for both games what I think they need to do. Go ahead and interject whether you agree or disagree, or if you have your own. But my only factor I feel like that matters for this game is Joe Burrow needs to get hot. He needs to get hot in this game. So against the Chiefs, the last game of the season, he was 30 of 39 for 446 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And since then, in the playoffs, he has been 592 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. And here's the scary part. So against the Chiefs, he was sacked 4 times. The last 2 games, he was sacked a total of 9 times. So I think protecting Burrow and letting him get hot is the key, and really the only key, in my opinion, for the Bengals to have a shot at winning.
Didn't he get sacked 7 times last game? The last game?
9.
Oh, how many times did he get sacked against the Raiders?
2 times, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the sack total is inflated a little bit too by, I think we were texting among us about him holding the ball a little bit too long sometimes and be willing to take sacks versus throwing an interception. I honestly think against the Chiefs, outside of Chris Jones, I'm not real scared of Frank Clark or some of the other guys. If they can neutralize Chris Jones, I think that's the key to the game. And Burrow getting hot, I think all it takes, he doesn't even have to drop a dime down the field. It can be a little slip screen to chase like he did against the Chiefs, and then he just takes it 70 yards. That can happen any play.
Yeah, I don't think it'll take a lot for him to get going. I just think that's what they'll need in order for them to beat the Chiefs. And the Chiefs did sack him 4 times, like I mentioned that last game. I don't know who all got the sacks, and it could be because he held the ball too long. But that offensive line didn't play very good against the Titans. That's for sure. I don't think every time he got sacked it was because of him holding the ball too long.
They did have one drive, I think, after halftime. It was like 9-6 at halftime, and they basically went down the field running the ball with Mixon. He made that cutback and scored. But most of that drive was runs. So maybe that's something that's key too, to take the pass rush off, is to get Mixon going.
Yeah, that could work. Yeah. Also would shorten the game a little bit, keep the ball out of the Chiefs' hands as much as possible, which could work. Anything else in regards to this? No, we good?
Ryan took mine too, is just they can't abandon the run with Mixon. As long as they have that available, then play action should be open most of the time for them.
Yeah. What if Money McPherson gets hot and kicks like 4 field goals again?
You guys heard
whatever it takes.
You guys heard that story about him practicing on the sideline and then we're going to the championship or whatever, right? Did you guys hear about that?
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, man. Justin Tucker, look out.
I loved when they said how great Butker was, and then he missed 2 kicks, and I said that's what you get for mentioning him in the same breath as Tucker.
Yeah, you should never do that. That's ridiculous. Okay, let's look at the other side. The Chiefs, they win. I have a couple here for them. Chiefs play like the Chiefs. I think they win if they play like the Chiefs, and that is, putting up 35 to 45 points, whatever it takes. Tyreek Hill looks unstoppable. Travis Kelce getting open over the middle. Clyde Edwards-Helaire looked like he was running pretty strong. He was very explosive during the Bills game. I like the way he was running. If he keeps it up, if they play like the Chiefs, I think they win. And then the other thing is to get to Burrow, which we already talked about, them getting 4 sacks at that season, not the finale, but the game before that. And then the fact the Bengals have allowed 15 sacks in the last 3 games.
I'm thinking maybe like a X factor too. You saw Hardman on that jet sweep, kind of like stutter step and then just explode out the other side for a touchdown. They can get a play like that
Mm-hmm.
from Hardman or somebody like that would be a huge boost. And please no more like 3rd and 1s with like Blake Bell running an option would be nice too.
Okay, wasn't the coaching horrible last weekend? Like it was just some bad coaching. That was one of the plays.
Why are you running an option with Blake Bell?
Yeah, they're overthinking it. That's it. Okay, let's get into our predictions then. Let's see for the Bengals, and we have Nate. He picked the Bengals. In our own group, Ryan picked the Bengals. Travis, I didn't get your answers before the show, so I was unable to type you in here. Who do you have winning, Travis?
I am going to take the Bengals as well.
Okay, so do you have a score and maybe an X factor in the game?
Well, we kind of talked about it already, but basically the run game has to stick for the Bengals to have success with their passing game. Because if that's not going, then as much as I want to see Burrow constantly throwing all the time, I don't think him throwing 45 plus times in a game is what the key will be here. But just making sure he has enough time to throw is the main thing because he'll make the right read.
Okay, yeah, I like it. What about you, Ryan? Why did you pick the Bengals? What's your score and X factor?
I think if Matthew doesn't play, I like the Bengals by 2 scores. I like them like 38-27 kind of game. If Matthew plays, I like a similar score as last game they played, like 34-31. I think he makes that kind of difference on the back end. I don't trust the Chiefs secondary, and unless Ward and Snead and some of these guys are going to step up, I really like the Bengals, and it's hard for me to go that route. But sometimes teams just get on a run, and I think they're on a run right now, and they're not scared of anybody.
Yeah. That's good. Well, let's go with the Chiefs here. This is where everybody else is at. Let me see here. My younger brother also picked Eric. He picked the Bengals, so he's on board with you guys. I also picked the Chiefs. I picked them all year, so it's not like any secret that I'm going to pick them. Speaking of hot streaks, like the last, 2 games, they've scored in the playoffs 35 or more points. I don't see how the Bengals are able to cover if they keep that up. It's just, I'm almost opposite of you, Ryan. I think it's going to be a 2-score game the opposite way. I think it's going to be like 38-28 or 30-44, like Chiefs. I think they win pretty comfortably. And then maybe that the Bengals kind of score a touchdown like during garbage time. I just don't see how the Bengals slow them down if the Bills can't. So I have the Chiefs. My X factor will be, I don't know. Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Kelsey, Edwards-Helaire. I'm going to go Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm going to say if he can continues to kind of make plays for them out of the backfield and keep the defense guessing, that's going to help the Chiefs out in this game.
Ryan, do you think that game going to overtime, and even though it was only one offensive possession, it was ended, do you think that's going to factor in at all for the Chiefs? Because who was limping towards the end of the game? Was it Kelsey or somebody, or no?
I don't remember anyone limping. I know like Deebo Samuel was in the Niners game, but I don't remember.
Oh, maybe that's what
Yeah, Samuel and Kittle too. Kittle got
that's what I was thinking.
Wrestled down, and Kittle gets wrestled down in every tackle.
Yeah.
He's an animal. He never wants to go down, so he always hurts himself.
But do you think it going to overtime has any effect on the Chiefs maybe? And like the whole excitement factor for that game, that it might bring them down a little notch here, that they're not going to be able to perform to that same type of hype?
It's either gonna be like they're disappointed because they don't feel like the Bengals should be with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then they play down to their competition. If that's what you're saying, like that they kind of have a regression because it's not the Bills on the other side of the field. I could see that, but I also could see them using that momentum in that wild game, coming back with 13 seconds to go and winning it somehow. I could see them using that momentum to drive them to win this game as well. Yeah, so I guess I could see it go both ways. I'm leaning towards, obviously that the momentum continues. But
I got a two-part question for you, Ryan.
Okay.
Does it worry you at all that the Bengals have won without Burrow playing well or as good as he can? And do you think the Chiefs can win without Mahomes playing at an elite level?
So to answer your first question, no, it doesn't worry me because there's no way that the Chiefs doesn't score more than 20 points. So like, even if Mahomes plays bad, I don't see how the Chiefs don't score 20 points. I think they had one or two games this year where they scored less than 20 points. I don't remember. I would say it's very few and far between. It would worry me a little bit if Mahomes had an off game, but I guess like I don't know what that would you understand what I'm saying? Like I just don't know what that would be like if I don't know. If they score 24 points, could they still win? Depends on how Burrow plays, I mean, like, who do you have more trust in right now, Burrow or Patrick Mahomes, if you had to pick one?
Mahomes.
Yeah, and you're in Arrowhead as well. You're at home in Arrowhead. We saw how much that played a factor in the last game. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question, but I definitely am not nervous about the fact because the only way they beat the Chiefs in that last time they met was because Burrow was hot. So if Burrow plays bad, there's no or even average, I don't think there's any way the Bengals win.
Well, not to devalue the game this week, Bengals Chiefs and then the Rams 49ers, but do you think the two best teams played already?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I said whoever won that game would win the Super Bowl.
Okay. That's where I'm getting the insight on this. So if you thought those were the two best teams, then go with the Chiefs.
Yeah. Although if the Bengals win, I'll be rooting for them in the Super Bowl. Well, actually, it depends if they play, actually. But that'd be exciting.
Matthew Stafford.
That's right. So speaking of which, are we good with going forward in the next game?
Yeah. Another 45 minutes of Stafford talk. Here we come.
Here we go. Well, there you have our keys to victory for both the Bengals and the Chiefs. What are your keys to victory for each team? Who's your X factor? What's your score? Who do you think is going to win? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks so much for listening. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like more content, like the video, and if you'd like to listen to the rest of the podcast, the link for the podcast is down below. Thanks very much again for listening. We'll talk to you guys soon.